Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make Purple Shep. I've been getting loads of requests to show you guys how to make him recently, and I've decided to come through and fulfill the request. Because it only makes sense. In the past, I've made Pink Sheep, and I've also made Dan's dog, Grim. If you want to make any of those two builds, by the way, check out the card system and the description below. I'll be leaving links to both of those builds in, like I said, both the card system and the description below. Pink Sheep would look excellent next to Purple Shep. But that's more than enough talking. If you want to make him, here's what you're going to need. Grab yourself some white stained clay and some black stained clay. You'll also need some magenta stained clay and some purple stained clay. Flip over, grab yourself some white wool, some black wool, and finally, you might have guessed this one, we're going to need some purple wool. And once you have each one of those materials, and once you've figured out where you want to make him, I'll be making him right here, you're going to want to kick off Purple Shep with this sequence of blocks in a row on the floor. You want to do one black stained clay, two white stained clay, one black stained clay. What you then want to do is take each one of those black stained clays, extend them forward each by 3, that's 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3, then connect them together, third block to third block, like that. And what you then want to do, and by the way, you can do the same thing here, so this is going to be Purple Shep's front left foot. You can do the same thing, just 5 spaces away, so leaving a gap of 4 from this front right hand corner block, leaving a gap of 4, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on this 5th block we want to do a row of 4 black stained clay going right, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. We then want to take blocks number 1 and blocks number 4, and we want to extend them back each by 3, that's 1, 2, 3, and that is 1, 2, 3. Then connect them together, back block to back block with a row of white stained clay, and then we can destroy those blocks that we used to space them out. So we now have Purple Shep's 2 front feet. What we can then do is we can take out our white stained clay, and we can do 6 layers of white stained clay directly on top of these square shapes of the feet. So it'll look like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we just want to apply this to every single one of those blocks that we have here. It will take a second or two, because not only are we going to do it to the one leg, but we'll also do it to the other leg. It makes sense. We have to do it to both of the legs anyway, and whilst we are focusing on one particular part of the leg, we may as well do the exact same thing. So instead of us having to remember a load of steps and all of that, we may as well just do the same thing. So once you've got those 6 layers applied to one leg, we'll come to this other one and we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we can just apply all of that white stained clay directly on top here. So I'm just going to do that, and once we've done that, we can then move on to the next stage. It almost doesn't matter which leg, and you know what, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which leg we start with and which leg we finish with. Each one of the legs has to be identical, so it doesn't really matter front, left, right, doesn't really matter which one we do first. So once you've got this taken care of, this is what you want to do next. So take out your purple wool, you might have guessed, and you want to do a layer of purple wool going all the way around that top row of white stained clay. So going all the way around the top of it, you want to do a row of purple, like that. And then on top of that layer of purple, you want to add 4 additional layers of purple wool. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, and obviously we want to have the exact same thing applied onto each one of these other blocks. So we want to have a row of 4 purple wool going all the way around the top of that first initial row of purple. So in total that'll be 5 rows of purple. And not only do we want to do this to the first leg, which is this one, this is the front left leg, or front right leg, it kind of depends which perspective you're looking at. I always get a little bit confused with that, but this is the front left leg as I like to think of it, and the front right leg we have to do the same thing. So once you've added those 4 layers on top of the first, we want to come to this opposite leg, and then we want to add the layer of purple going all the way around the top layer of white stained clay, and then we want to add, remember, 4 additional layers on top of it. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you know that it's right because all you have to do is look ever so slightly to the left, and you'll notice that you have the exact same height. So we're just going to continue to add all of this purple, then we'll connect the legs together, and then we'll form the actual shape of Purple Shep. And it's not that hard actually. Purple Shep's a big giant rectangle. The hardest part of Purple Shep is his face, as you might guess, because it's a little bit, how do we say, it's a little bit messed up, to say the very least. So there we go, we have his two front legs looking nice, perfect. What we now want to do is this. We want to connect each one of those legs together, like this. So you can connect them top block to top block, like this, in between. So connect them in the center together. You then want to take this top front row of the legs and you want to do 2 rows of purple wool coming out in front of the statue. So this will be 1 row and this is going to be the second row coming directly out in front. We then want to go up on top of each one of these corners, but we'll focus on just the one corner first. We want to go up on top of this front left-hand corner block by 8 with the purple. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then what we want to do, we want to take this 8th block and going backwards towards where the back of Purple Shep is going to be, we want to do a row of 23. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. We then want to take that block, we want to go down from it by 8. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then we want to connect that 8th block all the way to the front of the statue, and it should connect, boom, perfect, just like that. And once you've got that sorted, this is what you want to do next. So you can come to the opposite side of the body now. We can take this front corner, we can extend it up by 8, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we can extend it to the right. So, you know that you have to go right or backwards by 23, but what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to extend it backwards until it's roughly even with the opposite part of the sheep, and then I'm going to connect that part of Purple Shep all the way over to this part. So I'm going to connect each one of the corners together. This saves me counting anything out, and it just makes it a little bit easier. It just means that we don't have to count, and it just reduces the margin of error. So we can now drag this corner block down, we can make it even with the back corner on the opposite side of Purple Shep, then we can connect it back here, and then we can do the same thing and we can connect it to the front, so we can have a big giant rectangle that should look a little bit like that, and that is obviously the outline of the body, looking pretty good if I do say so myself. Well, once you've got that rectangle, we can now come to the back part of Purple Shep, and we'll start on this side first of all, because I do like to start on this side. Don't ask me why, I don't know. So, you're on this side of Purple Shep, the left-hand side. You're on the bottom left-hand corner, and you want to move a block in. So, you want to be underneath this block. And going down from this block, you want to do a row of 4. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. You then want to go right by 5, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you want to go up until you connect to the sheep. You want to connect back up to the sheep's body, like that. What we then want to do is we want to take the inside corners of the shape that we've just made, the bottom 2 inside corners, and we want to extend them coming across the sheep by 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we want to connect those together, like front to back. And then we want to extend them upwards until they are kind of like even with the rest of the bottom of the sheep. So it'll just end up looking like this. We then want to come to the under part of sheep's leg, and we want to do inside this space, we want to have Purple Shep's leg shape. So it's just, we basically just trace along the inside of the bottom of the purple square that we have. So we'll end up with something that should look like this. We then want to take this white stained clay square and we want to extend it downwards by, I do believe that it's 4. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's perfect. Yeah, we want to do that. So we just want to take each one of those white stained clay blocks and we want to extend them down by 4. So we just want to have something. You guys know how this is going to look because we've already done the legs 2 times. That's all we're doing here. We're just copying what we've done already. And you want to extend them down until they are just 1 block off the floor. You then want to have a layer of black stained clay underneath the base of the foot, and you want to have the black stained clay on the left hand side, the right hand side, and the front of the foot, but at the back of the foot, the back 2 center spaces on the back of the foot are white stained clay. That's the leg, pretty much. We do have to fill it in with purple wool, but we'll do that in a minute. That's that leg. Let's move on to the other leg. So talking about this other leg, very easy. It's the exact same thing again. So we're on now the right hand side of the sheep, we're at the back right hand corner at the bottom, move in by 1 block and we go down from this block that we have highlighted by 4. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then moving towards the front of Shep, we want to have a row of 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we want to take that 5th block, extend it up, connect to the sheep. come to the bottom inside of what you've made, take each one of these bottom two corners, extend them towards you each by 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, there we go. And that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we want to connect each one of these fifth blocks together. And then we want to take these corner blocks and we want to extend them up to the bottom of the sheep, like that. We then want to take the white stained clay out and we want to trace along the bottom of the inside of Purple Shep's foot. So we want to form Purple Shep's leg, and then we want to extend it down and we want to create his foot. So we have this layer of white stained clay and we want to extend this white stained clay down to the ground until it is one row off the ground like that, and then we can just add all of these extra layers. So we're just going to add all of these layers of white stained clay until we eventually almost connect down to the ground. We then want to place these back to bottom white stained clay blocks right in the center, and then we can do the layer of black stained clay going all the way around the base of the foot, and we'll have something which should look a little bit like that. So you see, you have the outline of the top of the leg, you have the outline of Purple Shep, and what we're now going to do, just because I don't really want to include this in the recording because it's going to take a really long time, we're now going to fill in the entirety of Purple Shep with purple, as you might guess. So this includes filling the legs in with purple, this includes filling the bottom of Purple Shep in with purple, and this of course includes filling in the rest of the body, the other visible parts. The only part that is easy to forget is, of course, filling in the bottom part of Purple Shep. But that's what's going to happen. We're just filling the entire thing in with purple. It's going to be quite obvious to you which parts you have to fill in and which parts you don't have to fill in. Obviously, any parts that are visible from, well, the outside of Purple Shep, you're just going to want to fill in, and the parts that aren't, don't bother. So I'm going to be back in just a second once I've completely filled in Purple Shep. I'm just going to be adding all of this purple, and then once it's done, I'm going to be back and then we can talk about what's going to be happening next. And there we go. So that is Purple Shep's body majoritively filled in. That's each one of the sides, including the underpart of Purple Shep, and of course the legs as well. Let me just make sure that I filled in the back of the legs. There we go. That's a spot that I often miss. So once you yourself have completely filled in Purple Shep, and it's completely understandable if you haven't done that yet, because of course it's only been a couple of seconds, pause the video, fill it in for yourself, hit play, and then you can continue on with the rest of us. So the next thing we have to do is Purple Shep's head, and this is going to be the last part. Come all the way to the front of Purple Shep, come all the way up to the top front left hand corner, this block. We want to take this block and we want to go down by 3 from this block. So that's 1, 2, 3. So we're on the 4th block down. We then want to move it inwards by 3. So that's 1, 2, 3. We want to place a purple block, and then we want to go right of that purple block by 7. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We then want to take this row of purple here and we want to extend it forwards by 2 rows. So this will be 1 row, and then this will be the second row. We then want to take each one of these end purple blocks and we want to extend them upwards, each by 7. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the opposite, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We then want to connect them together, top block to top block. We then want to come behind and take each one of those 7th blocks and extend them backwards, each by 7. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this opposite one, this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then connect each one of those 7 blocks together and also connect them down to the ground, like this, or to the top of Purple Shep, like so. So once you've got that taken care of, we now want to take out our white stained clay. And you want to come to the inside of the left and right hand sides of the head, and right at the front here, can you see where we have this row of purple? Well, we want to come down, and in line with the sides of the head, we want to come down to the second block, and we want to place a white stained clay, and then go up on top of it by 3, so that's 1, 2, 3. Do you guys see where I've placed that? Like right in the center of the side of the head. And coming to the opposite side, we want to, once again, just right next to the body, place 1 here on the second block down, and then go up by 1, 2, 3. That is the other ear. We then want to come to the front of Purple Shep, and we want to take out our white wool. So inside of the head here, we have this square shape. We want to move 1 row outwards yet still inside this shape. So we kind of want to do this. Where we have this bottom left-hand corner space, we want to have a white wall in front of this space, like this. Does that make sense? And then you want to go right of this white wall by 1 with the white. Then you want to do 2 white stained clay, then 2 white wall, like that. Then for the next row, do 1 white stained clay, 1 black wall, then 4 white stained clay. Then for the next row, do 1 white wall, or 1 white stained clay rather, then 1 white wall, then 2 purple stained clay, then 2 white stained clay. For the next row, do 1 black wall, 1 white stained clay, then do 2 magenta stained clay, 1 white wall, 1 white stained clay. For the next row, do 1 white wall, 2 black wall, 1 white stained clay, 1 black wall, 1 white wall. And for the top of the head, you just want to do an entire row of white wall. So you want to have something which should look a little bit like this. And I realize that this looks a little bit messed up. And that's kind of the point, isn't it? Well, what you want to do from here is this. Can you see where we have this black wall here? This single black wall on the left-hand side, midway up the head. We want to place a black wall in front of this. Then from that, do an upright diagonal. Go right by 1, do an upright diagonal. That is Purple Shep's mustache. Now, that's about as close as I can actually get to Purple Shep's head. Ideally, this statue could do with being a little bit bigger, but unfortunately, that's what we have to deal with. He's the same dimensions as Pink Sheep, and we just had to cram his face into this. It's looking a little crazy, and honestly, I quite like Purple Shep. All you have to do once you've got that face taken care of, so we can wrap this up, is you just want to fill the rest of the head in with purple. Shouldn't take you too long. Remember to fill in each one of the crevices. At the back here, we just have a couple of rows of purple to add, and of course we have the top of the head, and we have the opposite side of the head to fill in as well. And there we go. Quite easy, really. The only difficult part about this, I would say, is making his face. If you have any improvements to make on that face, feel free, but it's really difficult considering the fact that you do only have the certain amount of room to work with. And plus, it's a little bit difficult to add on his mustache because it's supposed to be a bit like diagonally, and well, it's a little bit tricky. By the way, this black wall that we have on the left-hand side here, destroy this, place a white stained clay. We really shouldn't have even bothered placing that, and there you have a more accurate representation of Purple Shep. And hopefully you guys like this statue. It's quite easy, like I said, and it looks perfect next to Pink Sheep. It looks really, really cool. So hopefully you guys like this statue. Hopefully you like the video. If you do, please give the video a like, give it a favorite, give it a share. I'd really love that. If you wouldn't mind, it'd really help me out. Comment down below, are there any other characters from various YouTubers or YouTube series that you want me to make? I might be up for making them. We'll have to see. You'll just have to let me know. I only made this just because of how many of you did request this, and because, of course, I have made Pink Sheep and Grim as well, so I figured, why not? Plus, I quite like it. I like the aesthetic of Purple Shep. Comment down below, let me know about that. Check out the God System, check out the description below. I'll be leaving links to Pink Sheep and Grim, and maybe even other future characters and stuff that I make as well. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check out the God System, comment down below, all of that fun stuff. Like, favorite, share if you wouldn't mind. I'll see you guys in the next video.